Good morning, writers. My name is Elora Gunn, and today we're going to be talking about critique partners and how to be a good one. If you are a new or aspiring writer, click that subscribe button below, and also follow me on my socials, and links are in the description. Let's get started. Before you hunt down beta readers, before you hire an editor, before you ever try to query an agent or sell to a publisher, get some critique partners. Every author, no matter how experienced you are, should get a second pair of eyes to double check their story, because no one writes a perfect first draft. And the best way to get good critique partners is to be a good critique partner. So today, let's talk about the 3 most important things you can do to be that good critique partner. Number 1, define the expectations. As with any healthy relationship, you need to define the expectations, yours and theirs. As you reach out to other writers, or as other writers reach out to you, make sure to take a moment to ask each other a couple of questions to make sure that everybody is on the same page. For example, when do you need the critiques finished by? It's very important to know if one of you is on a time crunch and the other needs to pick up their pace a little bit. Or is there anything in either one of your manuscripts that might be triggering or uncomfortable for the other to read? For example, if one of you writes a book that has heavy themes that might not be something healthy for the other writer to be reading about at the moment, they need to know about that before they get started. Also, how in-depth should the critique be? Do you want just a vague idea of if it's a fun idea? Do you need help with the structure, the plots? Or do you want to get as detailed as spelling mistakes, grammar, and little words that could be spiced up a little bit? So before the 2 of you begin, make sure that you cover all assumptions that you can think of so that later on, nobody is left upset or hurt or wishing that you'd talked about these things beforehand. Number 2, be honest. Remember, you're working together because you need someone to give you honest input and vice versa. So no matter how in-depth of a critique you have asked for or they have asked for, always be honest. Never lie about the issues that you see in their book to make them feel better or because you're worried about hurting their feelings about something that just isn't working. The both of you are asking for advice about your work and your writing, so you need to make sure that you're giving each other that input and help that you need. Do your best to be as frank as you can about the issues that you spot and how they might be able to be fixed. Hiding issues or downplaying their severity to spare the other writer's ego or to spare your own ego isn't going to help anybody in the long run. Believe me, it is much better to hear that harsh advice and those painful critiques from another writer than from an editor that you're paying or an agent who is rejecting your book. And number 3, be kind. During the interview process, you should have already worked out with each other how harsh or how soft you want the critiques to be. And there is nothing wrong with asking your critique partners to be gentle with you if it's the first draft or 2. And while you should never sugarcoat the critiques that you have for them, you also don't need to be hurtful or mean. Instead of telling them, your characters suck and the plot is boring, try maybe instead, your main character and the love interest aren't very compatible. They need more reasons than just pure physical attraction if you want their relationship to sustain a 9-book series. How about instead if you tried, and then give them your advice for what you feel might be able to improve their book? As a critique partner, you are here to help the writer find the weak spots in their writing or the things that they just seem to be struggling with, not to destroy their confidence as a writer. A good critique partner is both coach and cheerleader, not the heckler sitting in the stands. So please keep this advice in mind as you go out to find your critique partners, and remember to be the kind of critique partner that you want to have. And that's it for this week. Now go get writing, and I'll see you next week with another video of helpful tips.